Hello everyone. So this video is a part of the series of the videos of the ongoing challenge on LeetCode, which is June LeetCoding Challenge 2020. You can find the link to the complete playlist in the description of the video where I've added solution along with the explanation for all the challenge problems published till now. So with that, let's get moving. Today's week 3, problem 2, validate IP address. So in this particular question, what you have to do is you are given a string and you have to write a function which takes that string as an input and checks whether it's a valid IPv4 address or valid IPv6 address or neither of them. Okay, so if it's a IPv4 address, you should return IPv4. If it's an IPv6 address, you should return IPv6. And if it's neither, then you should just return neither. Okay, so what an IPv4 address looks like. So it's this sequence of characters which are a total of 4 fields separated by the delimiter dot, and each of the field in an IPv4 address is a number between 0 and 255, both inclusive. Okay, and they are mentioning some more examples. So consider this particular case. So this is not a valid IP address because although all the numbers that are separated by these dots are actually numbers, but if you see this, it's having a leading 0. Okay, so whenever you have a leading 0 before any other number, so that's not valid IPv4 address. Okay, so when we have to implement this thing, I really recommend you to use Python whenever it comes to string. Whenever it comes to string manipulation, because the libraries that you have in Python, the support for strings that you have in Python is really good, and you can perform string manipulations in a much easier way when you are dealing with these kind of problems in Python. Okay, so what we'll be doing first is we'll be just trying to implement the IPv4 address validation, and so I've written down the steps for you, and I've written down the observations that you can have while you are checking for an IPv4 address. Okay, so the first thing that we will do is we will just split the string by the delimiter dot. Okay, so you can do that with ip.split dot in Python, and that will actually return a list of the numbers. So for example, if you have the string as 1.2.3.4, so what this ip.split will be doing is you'll be having a string 1, then you'll be having a string 2, then a 3, and then a 4. Okay, so you'll be having a list like this when you do ip.split. Okay, so what's the first observation that we have? The first observation is an IPv4 address should be of the form a.b.c.d. That means that a total of 4 fields should be there when I just separate it with a delimiter dot. Okay, so I can just have a check that if length of a is not equal to 4, so in that case, it's not a valid IPv4 address, and I will just return a false in that particular scenario. Okay, once I've done that, we'll also check other scenarios where this might fail the check of an IPv4 address. Okay, so what I'll be doing is I'll be iterating on all the numbers, on all the strings that we have, which is A and B and C and D. And for each of the string, we'll have some more observation, which is the first observation is that each field should be numeric. Okay, so for example, if I split the string 1.2.3.4 and if I split them into something like 1 and then 2, and then 3 and then 4, so each of the entry here in this array A, if you see, each of the entries should be a numeric entry, and the way you check whether a particular string is numeric or not in Python is really easy. So if the entry is not numeric, then in that case also you should return a false. Okay, so if not num dot is numeric, then also you should just return a false. Okay, that's observation 2. So if any of the field that we have here, whether the first field which is corresponding to this A or B or C or D, if any of these numbers is not numeric, so in that particular scenario it fails the check of IPv4 address and we should return a false. Okay, the second observation that we should have is each field should not have a leading 0. Okay, so whenever you have to do these kind of checks whether a particular number is having a leading 0 or not, so I have a really nice trick which you can employ here in order to check whether a number is having a leading 0 or not. So what you can do is something like this. Suppose you have the number 0, 1, 2. Okay, now if I try to convert this number into its corresponding integer, which I can just directly do in Python with int of this number, int of this string, so the number that I'm going to get is 12. Okay, because the integer equivalent of this is going to be 12. Now if I convert this back into an integer, it's going to be 1, 2. Okay, now have a look at these two strings. So of course these two strings differ because it was a leading 0. Okay, so if I compare these two strings, these are not going to be equal. But if I don't have a leading 0, suppose if I have a number like 34 without a leading 0, If I convert this number into an integer, it's going to be 34. And if I convert this integer back to the string, it's again going to be this 34. And if you have a look at these two numbers, so these two strings in fact, so both of these two strings are going to be same. Okay, so the way you can check whether a particular number is having a leading zero or not is, first you convert that string into an integer, and again you convert that integer back into the string. If both of these strings are equal, then that means that it's not having a leading zero, for example in this case. But if both of these strings are not equal, that means it's having a leading zero, and in that case also you should return a false. Okay, so that's the next thing that I'll be doing. So if num is not equal to str of int of num, that means first I'm converting the number into an integer, then I'm again converting it back to a string, and if these two things are not equal, so I'll just return a false. Oops, sorry. Okay, that's observation 3. The last observation that we have here is each of the field that we have, so each of the number that we have should be a number between 0 and 255. So what I'll be doing is I'll be just converting this num to its integer equivalent, and if this num is less than 0 or is this num greater than 255, so in that scenario also I should just return a false. Okay, so these are the 3 observations that we have here for IPv4 address, along with this one more observation that we should have a total of 4 fields separated by this dot. Each of the fields should be numeric in nature. Each of these fields should not have a leading zero, and we just saw the trick how we can figure out if a string is having a leading zero or not. And last observation is we can just check whether the number lies between 0 and 255 or not. So if the number is less than 0 or greater than 255, that means that the number is not between 0 and 255, and in either of these cases we should return a false. Okay, so that's what IPv4 check actually looks like. So next we can go to IPv6 check. Okay, so IPv6 addresses are represented as 8 groups of 4 hexadecimal digits. Okay, and it's what you can also think about is it's not always the case that there should always be this 4 hexadecimal digits in an IPv6 address. Okay, so for example, even if I have just a 0 in place of all these zeros, that is also a valid field in this IPv6 address. Okay, but first thing to notice is we have a total of 8 fields here separated by this colon, and each of the field that we have should be a hexadecimal digit. Okay, and it doesn't matter whether we have the capital case or the lower case or the it doesn't matter if you have uppercase or lowercase in any of these hexadecimal digits. It's still a valid IPv6 address. Okay, now if you see something like this is not a valid IPv6 address. Why? Because you can see that for this first field there are a total of 5 digits, and it's not allowed. You can have at max 4 digits, and at the least you can have 1 digit, but you cannot have 5 digit. Okay, so we'll just go to the check IPv6 function, and I've just written down some observations for you. So the first observation that we need to have is whenever I've split this kind of string with the delimiter colon, I should be having something like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, a total of 8 fields. So the first check that I need to do is if length of A is not equal to 8, so that means that it's not a valid IPv6 address, and I should just return a false in that scenario. Okay, so once I have this length of this array A equal to 8, what I need to do next is each of the fields that I have should follow these 2 properties, which is that each field should be a hexadecimal, and each of the fields should not be having a length more than 4. Okay, at least each of these fields should be having a length of 1, and each of these fields should not have a length of 4. For example, if you consider address like this, okay, let me just copy this thing. Yeah, oops, my bad, I'm sorry. Yeah, so if you consider say address like this, now each of these field, if you see, I can have a 2 here, that's valid. I can have a 0D here, that's valid. I can have a 555 here, that's valid. I can have single 0, that's valid, and I can have 4 numbers 1111, that's valid as well. But if I have 5 numbers here, that's not valid, and if I don't have anything here also, that's also not valid. Okay, so each of the field here that I have should have a minimum length of 1 and a maximum length of 4. Okay, so that's the third observation for us. Okay, so observation 2, each field should be hexadecimal. Now there is no inbuilt function which allows you to check whether a particular given string is a hexadecimal string or not. So what you can do is you can just write your own isHex function, and what it does is it actually checks whether the given string s contains all the hexadecimal digits or not. Okay, so first step here is to import the string library. So you just do import string here, and in this string library what you have is something called string.hexdigits, which contains all the hexadecimal digits that are there, be it the capital letters or be it the small letters and so on. So what you can do is we can make sure that all the characters in this string s are actually hexadecimal digits. So what I can have is for c in s, in fact c in string dot hex digits, and I need to have all these characters from this string s to be the hexadecimal digits. So I'll just return that all of the characters should be from this string dot hex digits. Okay, and I do this for all the characters in s. So I just return all c in hex string dot hex digits for c in s. That's what I can do. So this is basically just making sure that all of the characters are from this string dot hex digits, whether it's a small one, a small letter or a capital letter. Okay, so what I can do is I can just have if not self dot x is hex num. So I can just return a false in that scenario, because if that's not a hexadecimal string, so I'll just return a false in that particular case. And also if the length of num is less than 1 or length of num is greater than 4, in that scenario also I need to return a false. Okay, if this is not the cases, then that means that I have 8 fields. I have each of the field as a hexadecimal digit, and each of the hexadecimal digit is between the length 1 and 4, and that means that this is a in fact valid IPv6 address. So at the end I'll just return a true. Okay, so next what I'll be doing is I'll be just checking whether this given string is a valid IPv4 address or not. So if self dot check IPv4, I can do check IPv4 for the given IP, and if that's the case, then I'll just return IPv4. Next I can check if the given string is a valid IPv6 or not. If it's a valid IPv6, then I can just return IPv6, and if neither is the case, then I can just return neither. Okay, that's what the problem is. Yeah, saying okay. So let's just try to run this code. Okay, so this works. Let's just try to submit this as well. Okay, so this gets accepted. Okay, so 2-3 things that might be useful for you. So the first thing is whenever you have to deal with string manipulations, I really recommend you to use Python, because that's really useful whenever you have to do any string modifications or you want any inbuilt functions. Python provides you a really good set of libraries and functions which can be handy at times. Second thing is, so how did we proceed in order to check whether it's a IPv4 or IPv6? So we just encountered all the scenarios which can make a particular string as invalid, and we just returned false in all those scenarios. At the end, if all the scenarios are failed, that means if all the checks for IPv4 are valid, then at the end we return true. Same is the case with IPv6 as well. Okay, so if you have any suggestions, any comments, let me know in the comment section down below. And thanks for watching. I hope this video have been useful for you, and yeah, thank you. Have a nice day.